Today, we're talking with Rachel Pollack. Rachel, do you make any distinctions between esoteric approaches to the tarot and tarot as fortune telling?
Well, I know there are differences, and historically they're in opposition, you know? But for me, I try to draw on everything to do the best reading and also to get inspired by the tarot in the most powerful way. So I'm not an esotericist. I've never studied all that material. And you are a master at it. Your book is phenomenal, and your deck is phenomenal. Mary knows a great deal about that too. Um, but I never have. But I know something of it. I know something of the approach, and so I can draw on that. And fortune telling, I try to go beyond that, but I know something of that as well. And so I do my best to bring in everything. Can we do a short reading, by the way,
Yes.
about that question? So I thought about that, the Tarot of Delphi, and which I love. So I'm going to take out, I'm going to draw three cards. One for the esoteric, most of the fortune telling, because fortune telling is older. So I'll do fortune telling and then do, the esoteric world and then how they can combine. And we'll see what we get. So I said fortune telling first, right? This is the Nine of Wands. So it's a picture of a woman who's very sensitive to me, you know, and she's holding, it's actually, I guess it's Persephone, she's holding a pomegranate. So fortune telling will lead us into very deep places. It'll lead you into, the land of the dead, but not in a horrifying way, but in a way that great meaning can come out of it. Um, when I do readings for people, I have a small statue of Persephone's fortune teller on my table. So this is saying fortune telling takes us to a very powerful place, way beyond what most people think of just simple answers. So the esoteric world, this is a five of coins. So this is perhaps saying that the esoteric approach can help us deal with people's sorrows and struggles. Whereas a lot of people have trouble with that. They want the tarot to be nice, and they have trouble if something really scary comes up, like the Five of Coins, Five of Pentacles. So maybe the esoteric world can help us, give us a framework and a structure. And I think it does that very powerfully. It gives a structure beyond what's happening right now, and I think that's meaningful. So the combination, be interesting if it doesn't work. Let's see. Okay, so the Five of Cups, which is interesting. This is not just sorrow. If someone's looking away from people who are, it looks like they're having a wild party with people behind her. So it's like it'll help you to go, I guess, past the surface of things to a deeper place is the best I can say about that. So kind of that's my answer. When I did 78 Degrees of Wisdom, I could do a little bit more on this question. That split was one of the things I was kind of working against. So on one side, you had the fortune tellers who had formulas and didn't seem to want to go beyond that, and paid no attention to the occult traditions. On the other side, you had the occultists who had this incredibly brilliant and deep system, but kind of were almost contemptuous of fortune telling. And also were very rigid about how you could never move it, you could never change anything, which means you couldn't shuffle the cards. And I felt there was a space to go as deep as they were doing, but to use readings as the basis for it, rather than a structure. Even though the readings would then draw upon studying the structure and knowing what information that gave you, but the purpose would be to use the readings to be your way to, go into deep knowledge. So, and I feel that's done very well for me. So.
I love that. And what's interesting about your reading is that before you drew the cards, knowing those cards, my presumptions would have been the Persephone Nine of Wands is more esoteric tarot. The Five of
Yes.
Coins is more fortune telling. That would have
Me
been my
too.
presumption.
Yeah,
But
me too. Yeah.
So because of this switch, it's almost like it's telling us that there is a seamless circle that the two create, and they really aren't as mutually exclusive as a lot of us like to make them out to be. So I
Oh,
really loved that reading.
but that's the thing about readings. They surprise you. One of the first things that really knocked me out was many years ago now. Did a Celtic Cross, and the first card, the cover card, was the High Priestess. And the crossing card was the Hierophant. And I thought, this is exactly what it should be. You know, the inner deep level should be the High Priest of deep knowing, but then the outer level should be the ability to find a way to express it through teachings and knowledge, you know? And I thought, if you have it the other way around, you're in trouble. Because then you have, at your deep level, you have a rigid structure. And at your outer level, you can't communicate it. Because to me, the High Priestess's main quality is silence. You know, silence so that you can have inner knowing. But I mean, that was a great teaching, those two cards in our reading, you know?
Register for this summer's Masters of the Tarot Conference in Rhineback, New York, hosted by Mary Kay Greer and Rachel Pollack. For more information, check out mastersofthetarot.com. Links in the video description box.